Hey yo, what is up FPG fam? Further here, and I do apologize for not coming out with some content for quite some time. This video right now is far overdue, so I do truly apologize about that. Had some family come into town, had to tend to them, but we are back. Thank you guys so much for all the support. In today's video, we're going to be talking about A0 Saki and A1 Saki. I promise you that I was going to unlock the A1 and see how much of a difference it is, because in my prior video, if you haven't checked it out, I'll have it linked at the end of this one for you to easily click on. In my prior video, I talked about how A0 felt sufficient enough and that you don't probably necessarily need A1, because A0 Saki felt great because her kit felt very balanced, cohesive, synergistic, all that good stuff. But I had a few of you comment asking me to unlock the A1 and then see if my thoughts still remain the same about A0. So that is what we're going to be doing in today's video. Hopefully you enjoy. Hopefully you like what you see. If you do, just go ahead and drop a like. It just helps out the video tremendously. Tells YouTube that it's pretty decent, and it helps boost it into the algorithm. Also, if you're new to the channel, or if you haven't done it already, go ahead and consider subscribing. Join the FPG fam. We are on our way to 40K. Once again, thank you guys so much for all the support on the videos. I do truly appreciate it. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. I'm going to give you my thoughts about A0 and A1. And I'll just go ahead and state this really quickly right off the bat. A1 is a game changer. It truly is. But my overall thoughts about A0 for the most part remains the same. Let me clarify. I still think that A0 is sufficient enough. If you pull Saki and that's all you're able to do is just pull a Saki, so you have A0, then I think that's sufficient enough, because once again, her kit is very balanced. Her kit is very strong in of itself, and I don't believe A1 is necessary per se. But if you have the means and if you're able to get A1, I would recommend going for it, because the A1 is that good. It is quite literally a game changer in my opinion. So let's take a look at the A1 really quickly so you can get an idea of what's going on, just in case you're unaware. So with the A1 unlocked, when Frost Resonance is activated, which once again is something that you're going to be doing naturally with Saki, because you will be naturally running her with another Frost weapon or unit, all weapon skill cooldowns are cleared every 5 times weapon skills are used, and the damage of flow and counterattack is increased by 1 time for the next 25 seconds. Now, people clarified that this just meant double the damage, which I don't know why they didn't just state that and they went with this wonky translation, but it is what it is. Basically, you're going to be doing double the damage for your flow and counterattack. This is massive. Everybody solely focuses on the skill cooldowns being cleared, which is absolutely incredible. But nobody really talks about the damage of flow and counterattack being increased by double the damage, because that's massive for the next 25 seconds. That is huge. But you pair that with the skill cooldown, and now you have a unit and a team comp that is just providing so much burst damage that it quite literally becomes nutty. See, the way that you would be using this is that you would go ahead and go through your skills, so that way you can activate the A1. And then you would most likely, in my opinion, want to be on a weapon where the skill that you can do twice in a row is the one that's going to be doing the most damage. So a lot of times I try and make sure that I am already on Saki, so that way when the skill cooldown happens, I do her skill, the cooldown happens, and then I can do the skill again. Because Saki's skill does some pretty good damage, but it has a bunch of different effects afterwards. And then I can rotate through my team comp, going to Frigg, going to Claudia, and then back to Saki, back to Frigg, and kind of keep a almost 100% uptime on the skills. It's kind of incredible how much damage you're able to do, how much burst damage this is capable of, and how cohesive it is to then go through your skills, go through your team comp, and how everything just kind of come together when you start to utilize this A1 at its true potential. And then once again, you're getting increased damage for your flow and counterattack, so now your Saki's doing even more damage, which is just insane. So this A1 is quite literally a game changer, and right now I'll be showing some gameplay, and I want to put side by side, hopefully I'm doing this right now, of my Saki at A0 in the bygone and then my Saki at A1 in the bygone. Now keep in mind, the A0 Saki is on floor 271 if I'm not mistaken, and the A1 Saki is at 276, and I should have text clarifying which is which. And you can see how much quicker I clear with A1 Saki at a higher floor than the A0 Saki at a lower floor. Now I understand 2 different enemies, probably resistances are slightly different, but the fact that we're 5 floors higher for the A1 Saki still needs to be taken into account. and it's just kind of mind-boggling. And that's because of the burst damage, and that's because of the increased damage to your Saki. That allows you to be able to do that, because obviously the more skills that you're able to pop, the more damage you're going to be doing naturally. But not only that, you have to remember that these skills not only come with damage, which is a given, but it also has other perks behind those skills, and there's other things that are implemented within those skills outside of just damage. So for example, with Frigg, when you pop the Fimple Winter and you do the skill, it's going to be increasing your frost attack and increasing your shatter when you do the skill. So it's not just damage, but you're actually getting some benefits behind that. Also, like for example, I have Claudia on the team, so when you pop Claudia's skill, not only are you getting damage, but you're also getting damage reduction by 50%, so you become tankier, which is extremely nice. And then depending on what stance you are with Saki, if you are in the excited flow stance, you're doing a bunch of damage, and you have your sword flying around doing passive damage outside of that, and then your flow is increased. But if you're in the silent flow, then your counterattack damage is increased. You're getting additional blocks, which is really nice, makes you more tanky, more resistant. And then your surge shatter is increased as well, and you're getting more taunt. So there's just a lot that goes behind skills outside of just damage numbers, and that's what's so great about this A1. That's why this A1 is so incredible, is because you're able to reset the skill, and then you're able to do those skills more often, which means you're getting more of those perks as well as damage. Now I've seen some pretty nutty comps where you can pair Saki A1 with an A3 Shiro, and you can have, for the most part, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't tried it out myself, but 100% uptime on the skills almost at all times, and that's pretty nutty. So if you have an A3 Shiro, you could try that with A1 Saki, and that's probably a crazy fun comp to use, just popping skills non-stop, left and right, back and forth. But once again, I do kind of stand by stating that as good as it is, I think you only go for it if you have the means to be able to go for it. If you know you can grab it, by all means, go for it, because it is fantastic. Is it a must-have? I still stand by, I don't think it's a must-have, because I've used A0 Saki extensively, and we were getting the job done, just not as quickly. But we were still getting the job done, and Saki still felt strong, but this A1 quite literally did change the game, and it is incredible. So if you're able to go for it and you're able to get it, I do advise going for it and getting it. Beyond that, I don't think you need to go past A1. I think A1 is quite literally the sweet spot for Saki. After that, you might just be getting a bit greedy with some minor additional perks that you'll be getting, and just some maybe cool effects like manually triggering your Fantasia when you want to. I don't think that's necessary to grab at all. I think it's just a nice little cool perk that you can grab, as well as the A3 increase the damage of Sword Shadow Surge to 350% of frost attack. I know that's going to be great, but it's not something you trigger all the time. And then Silent Flow, the cooldown of Sword Shadow Surge becomes 5 seconds. That's going to be incredible, but once again, not anything that you necessarily have to have. It's just an additional perk for an individual that can wail out a little bit on their favorite character like Saki. But I think the 3-star would be just more for the skin than the actual benefits that you get from it, in my opinion. But the A1 is the sweet spot. That's where you can stop. You don't need to go any further than A1, and then you can start saving for future characters like Lyn, Lyra, Sirius, and all those really cool characters that are coming down the road, where you can start focusing on your secondary team. If Frost is your main team, you can save and start focusing on your secondary team and getting them built up, because you definitely need to have a secondary team in the wings to be able to bring out whenever there's frost resistance all the time. So anyways, guys, that is my A1 and A0 thoughts when it comes to Saki. It's quite incredible. Now I don't have any math numbers for you guys. I think it's just clear that you could see, you know, how much quicker you clear things, how much more damage you're doing, the burst damage. I think it's quite understandable and quite clear, and cut and dry, that you don't really need damage numbers and math to see the difference. You can get by with A0, and A0 Saki is very strong. A1's just a game changer, and you're doing some things that are just incredible, and it's tons of fun. I should add that it's massively fun to be able to pop a skill and then pop the skill once you just did it. That is incredibly fun to do. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna get on out of here. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. My name is Cody, but you can call me further. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.